Now let's move on to the next portion of exercise where we are going to discuss long questions and answers. The first question is, how did the child look by appearance? The answer is, the child was fully dressed and had been portrayed as an introvert who was inwardly quiet. She was an attractive little kid who had beautiful blonde hair and was as beautiful as Haifa in appearance. She appeared like one of those pictures of children that featured in advertising, leaflets, and photograph sessions of Sunday newspapers. The second question is, why did the parents keep the sick child in the kitchen? The answer is, the parents kept the sick child in the kitchen in order to keep her warm because their house was damp sometimes. Since she was having fever for 3 days, they had to keep her in a warm place. So the girl was resting in her father's lap in the kitchen where the doctor arrived. The third question is, how did the doctor succeed in examining her throat? The answer is, the doctor succeeded in examining the throat of the child after a lot of effort. Firstly, he had to insert a wooden spatula in the sick girl's mouth, which she broke into pieces, and later he made use of a silver spoon at the back of her teeth in order to force her mouth open wide. Finally, he was able to see her tonsils covered with the membrane. Fourth question is, describe the feelings of the doctor in his struggle to diagnose the disease. The answer is, although the doctor exhibited his best professional behavior in the beginning of the story, but his behavior changed as he struggled to diagnose the disease that the child was suffering from. Lack of cooperation from the child's side and her continuous resistance toward the medical examination aggravated the doctor's anger. He had to make use of force eventually in order to open the mouth of the child in order to examine her throat. The next question is, compare and contrast the conduct of a healthy child and a sick child. The answer is, the conduct of a healthy child is usually in complete contrast to the conduct of a sick child. A healthy child is usually friendly and obedient and remains active, whereas a sick child becomes stubborn, unruly, and rude at times, and misbehaves with people around him because he is unable to play and enjoy. Also, a healthy child, if well kept, is usually comfortable with routine medical examination as opposed to a sick child who often gets upset and is reluctant to have medical examination. Lastly, the former exhibits a gentle behavior most of the time, whereas the latter is often moody, sensitive, and prone to aggression. The last question is, under what circumstances can the use of force be justified? The answer is, the use of force is justified only in case of certain circumstances when the gravity of the situation rises to such an extent that the life of a person is at stake. In the story The Use of Force, the doctor employed the technique of throat culture as the last resort after making several attempts to convince the sick girl to open her mouth, but she continuously resisted to get herself examined. The girl's life was in danger as the doctor and her parents were apprehensive that she might be suffering from the deadly disease which was very common among the students of her school. So we can say that use of force is not justifiable in general, but when the life of a person is in potential danger, use of force becomes inevitable. So dear students, we are done with long questions and answers as well. I hope you have understood it very well. Thank you.